Speaker, I'd like to yield to my colleague, the Honorable Troy Carter from Louisiana's 2nd District.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. To my esteemed colleagues, Congresswoman McCormick from Florida, and my esteemed colleague, Representative Jackson from Illinois, I thank you for your leadership. I thank you for your commitment. I thank you for allowing us to have this opportunity to speak on such an important measure. I was outraged by what we all witnessed in Tennessee at the beginning of April, following the tragic mass shooting at the Covenant School. The Republican majority in the state legislature chose to avoid passing any meaningful gun reform or even having any meaningful discussion about gun reform. Instead, sought to thwart democracy, to silence the critics who stood with the community, who demanded action. Prayers are wonderful. I subscribe to them daily. Well-wishing is a wonderful thing, and they make you feel good. But that alone, without action, is not enough. We as elected officials are sworn to a task, to a duty, to serve, to provide. In Tennessee that day, we failed the people of Tennessee. We failed the people of America. Instead of action, they expelled 2 black Americans, members of the Democratic caucus, who stood with parents, teachers, and students to demand action and to speak truth to power about the reality of gun violence. This was an attack on our democracy. And all of us, Republican, Democrat, and other, should be outraged with such an attack on democracy. Because this issue today may have been an issue that the majority ruling party didn't like. What happens tomorrow when we unilaterally seek to silence the voices of duly elected people in a democratic society? Stop and think about that for a second, viewers. Stop and think about that, my friends. Stop and think about the threat to our democracy, the cornerstone, the pillar of our society is freedom of speech, freedom of expression, the ability to disagree and to have meaningful discourse. That's what we all ran on. That's what the mighty Constitution protects. Yet, in Tennessee, that was ignored. It was ignored. It was defiled. And everyone of every race and party should find disdain and pain with that kind of treatment in a democratic process. In the post-Civil War Reconstruction era, 4 members of the House, James Lewis, John Willis Maynard, PBS Pinchback, and Josiah Thomas Walls, were wrongly denied the right to take their seats. These egregious actions in Tennessee show us that the fight for black representation in the United States is still an ongoing battle. Our democracy is built on the freedom of speech and freedom to protest. To expel elected representatives for standing with their neighbors after an horrific act of gun violence against children is appalling. I'm enraged that it was 2 black lawmakers who were expelled. Black people in the United States have historically been vilified for speaking up. We've been beaten. We've been attacked by dogs. We've been hosed with powerful water hoses. We've been hanged from trees. And yet, in 2023, 2 duly elected members of a state legislature were unilaterally dismissed and removed from service for standing up with the people. There were no guns. There were no spears. There were no choke holes. There were no fighting. There was no profanity. There was no broken windows or broken arms. It was mere words. Mere words that defended the Constitution of our land, that defended the people to protest against something as egregious as the death of children. And we say we don't need to do anything with gun control. You can't find one thing, my dear friends, on the other side. Can we find any one thing that we can come together on that would suggest that we hear the pain, we hear the cries, we see the eyes of black and white mothers and fathers who will never see their children again? Yet we continue to find a comfortable place in the shade and hide behind rhetoric. The time has come for us to do something, to act, to move, to show the American people that we will not continue to sit back and watch senseless killings on our streets. Look at the statistics. We have more mass murders in the year than we have days in this year. Doesn't that mean anything? Doesn't that cause you to cringe and say, no more? Black, white, Republican, Democrat. There are lots of things that we can agree to disagree on. Public safety should never be one, particularly when it comes to standing up for our young people. Today, we send a promise of action, and we ask you to join us in delivering on that promise of action. Today, I stand for justice. Today, I stand with the Justins. Today, I stand with the Tennessee Three. Today and every day, I invite you to join me and others in supporting the bare principle of democracy and protecting its people. I yield back.
Mr. Speaker.